Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I have a treat for you today. I have a whole stack of layouts right here. And it's for my West Coast road trip. It's pretty well done. The trip has been documented. I might have a layout to do before we left Portland yet, but the actual road trip part is done. And I wanted to show you my finished album. And I also have another awesome little surprise. I bought something on Amazon. This is the Pioneer album, 12 by 12 album, 3-ring binder scrapbook, it says. And I'm gonna try it out and put my pages in it, and we can see how good it is and what we think of it. So I'm gonna do a review on that. And I'm excited to show you these layouts today. And there is a few in here that you have not seen before because I made some of them at retreats and I just didn't film every single layout, especially the ones that I didn't use Stampin' Up! Products, but you can see the finished layouts. So let's switch the camera around and get to showing you these awesome layouts. So here is layout number 1, and when I started this album or these layouts, I wasn't sure if this was going to go into other albums or it was going to be in its own album, but I have enough layouts now that it'll probably be in its own album. So this is going to be my title page, the first page by itself. So I love how this one turned out. I did the stamping in the background of these fishes and this weed. I've used this weed so much. And just kind of use that road trip stamp set that was right at the very end of Close to My Heart, or it might have been even marketed by Stampin' Up! And I did some paper tearing. I can still make Erin Jacobson laugh because I said I'm going to tear this 3 seaweeds wide. So that's a very technical measurement. I'll give you a quick close-up of this one. You can see those awesome pearls and all those layers. And I was very proud of this picture. This was, I even dipped my phone in the water to get this shot. This was not the first starfish I saw, but the biggest and the one that was like spread out the most. It was easiest to see. So even though the title page is from the ocean, the first layout that I have is from the day before we left on our road trip, and this is when we went to Silver Falls State Park and we hiked and saw most of the waterfalls. I don't think we quite saw all of them. You can see 10 or 11. Yeah, you can see a whole bunch, but what's really cool is that you can walk behind the falls. So you can see in this photo here, there's people in behind here. You can walk behind the falls on several of them. So that was pretty cool. We really enjoyed that. So I'll just show you. I just used leaves and different colored fallish papers because it was fall, so everything was changing. And then these are from Stampin' Up! Right here. And I think the rest of this paper is just from my Close to My Heart stash. This is a fun little way to do embellishments. And then I brought in some other things from my stash as well. You could go behind this waterfall in here too. You could see people right back here. Very cool. So that's that layout, Silver Falls State Park. And this one here, I did do, there's process videos to some of these layouts, but not all of them. And I did do a process video to this one, and I will link the playlist down below. So this layout was extremely popular on my YouTube channel. It was like viewed so many times, the videos, and I think just because there's so many good things about this layout. First of all, I had this travel paper that I wanted to fit in here because I had the hotel and the little car and it just fit so well. Another thing was I was able to make a big impact with this frame from this pattern paper, which is my favorite pattern paper of this paper pack. This is the Otterly Adorable paper pack. And I was able to create a really big impact with this by just having this border on 3 sides, essentially. Well, I guess 2 sides, essentially. And then I did have to cut into 2 sheets because I needed to do this sheet, cut a square piece out of it to get this edge. And then I had to cut another strip from a full sheet, because of course now you would only get strips this long. But I have all this paper left to utilize of this patterned paper, which is awesome. I also made the title in this pattern paper, which is fun. It makes a big impact. And I tried to mimic these leaves as best I could with leaves from my stash, like thin cut leaves from my stash. I also have, my husband was silly in one of the pictures, as he always has to be. So I did that picture behind so that it doesn't have to be in the foreground. And then I added a few things that we went to see on there, and how many miles we traveled that day. And I did want to do that in all the layouts, and I kind of forgot. So I might have to go back to my layouts and find places to hide how many miles we traveled each day. But I think I can probably fit that in yet. I'll give you, you can probably hear a train in the background. I live close to a train track. But I'll give you a close-up. I had a lot of fun stamping this highway in the background. And that was also from that same road trip stamp set. And then the other road trip things like this and this came from my stash. I'm kind of a collector of road trip stuff because we've gone on a lot of road trips. It's a cheaper way to travel with a family. So, so I collect those type of stamps. Okay. So this is one of my favorite layouts from, I'm going to say that about a lot of them probably. This is also using the Utterly Adorable paper. I just used the backside option, and then I've also got this wood, which I figured I had to use because it's the same as the wood. Not as, it's more worn, but it's the same kind of finish as the little A-frame cabin that we stayed in. It was so stinking cute. This cabin was darling. And it's such a beautiful place to stay, and this is in Bandon. I see that I don't have Bandon written on here, but I can add some strips right here or so and add a few little more journaling things. So this is inside the cabin here, and this is all like the wildlife we saw, exploring the beaches, and it's just a really cool place. So I'll give you a close-up of this one. Different shells, and I've been collecting stamp sets for a while because I knew I was going to do quite a few beachy, oceany trips. So I've been collecting them since Stampin' Up! Kind of took over the Close to My Heart makers into demonstrators. I did have a process video for this layout, and this is another fan favorite. It's called Grove of the Titans, and my friend Allison right here said it's such a good scrapbook title, and that's all the journaling that I have on this page. This was en route on the trip, and we just made a stop here, and I just felt it needed its own page because it's just so beautiful there with these huge redwood trees. And I had mushroom just here, but this is not the mushroom that Stampin' Up! Was selling, but it's a mushroom from my stash. I have believe it or not, a gnome set, and it had this mushroom in it. So I just made it happen, made it work, because I was too impatient to order the other one and wait till it came. A fun feature of this layout is I did the little script. This is from the, I can't think what it's called right this second. If you go to the process video from this particular layout, then you'll be able to see the ingredients that are available that I used. Some stuff from my stash. I actually printed this on Canva as well as this one here. Oh, that little banner there. Elements of text. There. It always comes to you in a few minutes. So I use the elements of text to kind of print up my papers in the background. This is one of my favorite layouts that I've ever done as well. I'm going to say that about all of them because when you look at them again, it's like, oh, they're so awesome. And I absolutely waited for this log round to come in the mail because I had to use it with this big log here. But I didn't order the mushrooms, and I should have. So here is another layout. This is from Glass Beach in, I think this is in Northern California, but I'm sure you guys will correct me. This was really an interesting place to visit, and we went there. We got there in the evening, and then in the morning we went and checked it out a little bit longer. Of course, we saw sea life there, and there's a car axle in here, and we had really good fish and chips here, and this is us eating the fish and chips, but there was a dog there that was bringing me his toy that he wanted me to throw, and of course I obliged because I love dogs. So I had a lot of fun adding just a little bit. I thought this was just like the sea glass beach, so I thought that was so fitting. And I just added very small touches of it because that paper, in my opinion, is a lot. And again, that paper is from the Utterly Adorable, the back sides, the B sides. And then this is from the Wood Grains paper, and I added this paper in. I was at a retreat and I bought a sheet of like pink map style paper. I used a lot of map paper on this layout just because it was really appropriate. So that is that one. Get that centered. Here is a layout nobody has seen yet. I love this one. I love the road weaving. This was I think on the way to San Francisco. And between Fort Bragg and San Francisco. And I just, I didn't make a process video because this is mostly not Stampin' Up! Products. This here is from Stampin' Up! And I think like some of the coral that I used, and this little stamp of this, a little sea urchin, which we're holding sea urchins on these pictures. But I found these papers in a clearance bin that the lady at the retreat had. And she has her whole store there and you can buy things. And so I just thought I have to use this paper, and it goes so well with our clothing that we were wearing. So I chose to use it, but since it's not Stampin' Up, I didn't make a process video. And also I didn't want to do a process video of every layout that I was doing at the retreat. I wanted to have some that I could just hang out and not worry about whether the camera was set up right or my station was all clean around the layout. So I love using map paper, and then I have this oceany paper. I just thought, oh, it's ideal. I have to use it. So I cut out some of the ocean paper here. I don't even know who made this ocean paper. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody can put in the comments where it came from. This is a close to my heart stamp set from my stash, worth the pause. My husband really wanted to stop here because it's a well-known like architectural area, and that's why I took a picture of the bathroom, because it was made to be kind of architectural as well, which is kind of fun. And my friend, there is the awesome sea urchin that I cut in a circle, and I still have to do some journaling here. I've got some coral and stuff here, just kind of trying to tie it into the whole paper. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It's quite a simple design with your large square in the center and then popping out two pieces one from either side. There is a process video for this layout as well. And this was awesome. We had a really good quick afternoon and evening here. We had a short day of driving, so we were able to check things out a little bit more. We went on a little boat ride, and we got this awesome group shot of us. And this was this boat that was full of all your, when it says made in China, I guess that's how it gets here. So it's here too. But yeah, it's Fisherman's Wharf, and I love this thing. This is at the end of the trolley ride. This is Lombard Street here. It's really hard to get a good picture of Lombard Street, and I'd been there before, so. And my friend and I in front of the bridge. This is actually on the road on the way there. We went up the hill so we could get those views because it's pretty cool to see from there. There's a fort right under here, right there, basically. And we wanted to take them there so bad, and it was closed that day. It was so sad. So that fort, like, I highly recommend if you go there to go to that fort, because it is absolutely free, and it is a very, very cool thing to see. And there's stuff about how the bridge was made and how it's maintained. And then there's also the history of the fort, which before the bridge was there already, it was guarding the entrance to the San Francisco Bay Area, and they've had gun batteries up in the hills and everywhere, but this is the original first one. The next place we made it to was Morro Bay. We really enjoyed spending a night here. We saw a lot of sea life. We ate fish and chips, except Allison, because she doesn't like fish and chips. She would have little bites from us, but she ordered something else. And we found so many sand dollars here, and that was really, really fun. We also saw otters, so I managed to work in an otter. These are river otters, and this is a ocean otter. I don't know, sea otter, I guess they're called. So that doesn't quite fit, I guess, but whatever. I added them in anyway. I'm like, when am I ever going to have a picture of otter to use again, unless I go to the zoo? And I printed up this paper with this weed here, and this weed makes a lot of appearances in my scrapbook layouts, but it's long and wavy, so it's just so easy to use. This is a great layout, and I think it really makes an impact with all the banners. I use this style more often with banners and then just kind of squaring it off in the background. Last but not least, I have this layout. This is very bright colors for me, but I thought it was appropriate, especially with these umbrellas. And this is the grid style layout that I use often when I have a lot of pictures. The guys went, it says here that the guys went to a college football game. We spent the evening exploring at Santa Monica Pier. And so we were staying quite close, so we walked back to our hotel afterwards. We had a piece of cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory, walked back to our hotel and took it easy afterwards. But yeah, it was a little bit cloudy the day that we arrived in LA or Santa Monica, so we didn't really go up into the hills and look at the Hollywood sign or anything because it was so misty and cloudy. I don't think we could have seen anything. So it was fun to be able to just go to the pier and check that out. So I just added a few little butterflies. This is paper from 49 to Market, a favorite of mine. And again, I was at a retreat and I just felt like changing it up and using some different paper. So there is often a woman there with a store, and I just bought this from her and created this layout. Here is the binder I ordered on Amazon. So let's pull it out of its wrapping and see what I got. I think I paid $27 for this binder. It was on sale, so I kind of bought it on a whim. It looks like it has like a plastic outer thing that you can keep on or you can take off. So let's maybe take it off so you can really see it. So I think it's faux leather. Oh, here, this tells you the page protectors that will fit in here. So we'll hope that these page protectors fit in here, because these are the Stampin' Up style now, and were one time the Close to My Heart style. So it looks like you have two of these. I think you put them at front and back just to kind of stop your pages from buckling, which they will sometimes do. I'm just going to take this plastic off. So let's look at the outside. It looks like the front corners are reinforced with this. It might be decorative a little bit too. And then the back doesn't have that. There's no, there's a clean design here. There's no bolts or anything showing. So I assume this is put on after. And it has kind of like a sponginess. So there's something in between the whatever is forming this and the back. The faux leather. And then the inside is made from a different fabric. It's kind of like a canvas type fabric. So let's see if I can get the whole thing in frame. Ooh. So I'm gonna put these in. I have a few gaps in here, just where I might want to put a few more layouts, maybe. We'll see. And I might put another trip behind this trip if because I went to California again with just my husband, and I have those layouts to do too. So what does happen, I prefer the D-ring just for ease, because I always end up putting my post-bound albums together and then finding that I still had a layout that I missed that I didn't put in, and it's so frustrating. I still have layouts that need to go into my postbellum albums, and I've never opened the albums because I don't want to deal with it. So they're just like separate from years ago, 10 years ago. So the thing about these albums though is that these can tilt a little bit. And you have this gap in the center, which I don't mind because if I really want to look at them together, I just do that and look at them together. But it doesn't bother me that much. I don't know. I find it so frustrating trying to put the D-rings together that I would rather have the gap, I think. Anyways, let's close this up. So I probably could have a few more, and I have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 page protectors. And I think I could for sure, I might even be able to have 12 more. Uh-oh, we have a problem. They stick out too far over here. So we have learned our lesson here. Somebody told me that they fit in the Pioneer albums, but they do not fit. Look. So that is a good thing that I did this, and now you guys won't do this because they do not fit in this album. Okay, so because we have the gutter in the Close to My Heart page protectors, and I believe Stampin' Up! Is now marketing those exact same ones. The gutter is what makes them not get all buckly when you're in a post-bound album, and but it's made it so that these are too long for in here. So you would have to get the Pioneer page protectors. So I'm gonna switch them over to a different size page protector that I happen to have in my house, and then show you how that looks. Okay, it's only been a couple minutes for you, but it's been longer for me. I went to the thrift store to try and find some Pioneer page protectors. I couldn't tell if any of them actually were, but I did find some so that I could fill the album. This one here is one I had in my house, and you can see it has like a stitched line right here, and it fit into this binder well, so it turns well. I've left a gap here in case I want to put a layout here, so it turns quite good. The ones that I went to the thrift store and bought is this, and I had to punch a hole in them here because they were actually only for 2. They were for post-bound albums with 2 rings, but you wouldn't want that because they would not lay flat because of the lack of a gutter. Post-bound albums absolutely need that gutter because they need that extra space once you fill up the page protector. And so I just wanted to put them in here to kind of show you, but these ones fit better than these ones do. And I'm going to just show you that from the top. So you can see when I close it, it's still kind of like this. But if I put it the way it's supposed to be, it does kind of cover. These ones are just staying inside, just barely, like they're just there. And those are the ones that were, I had in my house. These are the ones that I went and picked up, and I just think they're a no-name brand. I couldn't find actual Pioneer. But these ones here are sticking out past. So that is my review on this album, this Pioneer album. Unless you use their page protectors, you do not want to buy this album because it will not fit with ours. And it kind of makes sense because if I grab, I only have my Close to My Heart album, but you can see that it's quite a lot longer. See that? So it kind of makes sense that this one covers even the guttered pages, and they even come close to the edge. But this one here doesn't cover. So it is worth buying the Stampin' Up! Ones, which I assume are fitting the same as the Close to My Heart ones. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me that thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time here on YouTube. Bye!